everyone, and welcome to the Community Spotlight, exclusively here on RCN. Glad you could join us. I'm Dan Mowdy. Well, there's no doubt about it. The U.S. population is moving on into the golden years, and luckily, there are plenty of folks here in the Lehigh Valley who make sure that those years are indeed the golden years. We're talking about Phoebe Ministries. They have been a big part of the fabric here in the Lehigh Valley of Pennsylvania for many, many years, and they've introduced a very innovative program known as Pathstones by Phoebe. Here to help bring some historical perspective, as Phoebe Ministries has been such a big part of this region, is Lisa Hoffman, the Executive Director of Pathstones by Phoebe. A very innovative program, by the way. Lisa, we're very happy to have you on board.
Thank you. We're very happy to have the opportunity to be here.
Now, for those who may be watching from outside the Lehigh Valley, because here you're pretty much a cornerstone of the region, tell us a little bit about what Phoebe Ministries is all about and how it came to be.
Phoebe Ministries has been here in the Valley for over 115 years with a long history of serving seniors here in the Valley. We have 4 what we call continuing care retirement communities, which cover the broad spectrum of independent living, personal care, as well as nursing care when needed. Those communities are located here in the Lehigh Valley, as well as in the Berks area in Reading, as Wyncote, which is outside Philadelphia in Montgomery County, and Richland Township, which is in Bucks County, a little bit north of Quakertown. Additionally, as far as facility-wise, Phoebe has 7 affordable housing communities located throughout. So we operate in several counties, and as we've grown over the years, we've really expanded all those services. And so Pathstones is a new program. Several years ago, we also started a pharmacy. So we service within that pharmacy. We're in 3 counties. We service not only the Phoebe communities, but many other continuing care retirement communities in Lancaster, Lehigh County, and in the Montgomery County area. So we really have a great history. The Pathstones program was started about 4 years ago and really looked at another way to serve seniors. Other opportunities, while the history was community-based, what we realized was people want more choices, and Pathstones gives them that opportunity to have another choice. And we're going to be talking about that. And basically, I know the phrase aging in place is the common one. I kind of like the Pathstones phrase a little bit better, continuing care at home. Yes. So the continuing care at home concept is a relatively new concept. Across the country, there are just 31 continuing care at home programs. Here in Pennsylvania, we are fortunate to have 5 of those programs. And what it is, it brings a lot of the services while you would move to a continuing care retirement community. It brings in the services of wellness and coordination and activities, but it really allows you to stay in your home. So for those people that don't want to move to a community, don't want to be in nursing, we offer an opportunity to bring those services to them and allow them to age well in their home.
Absolutely. As a historic reference, your crew was kind enough to provide us with some photographs, historic photographs of Phoebe home back in the origins, basically. And even then, probably a leader when it came to taking care of the retired population.
Phoebe Ministries is affiliated with the United Church of Christ. You know, the United Church of Christ is a community of faith, and our organization is really based on that mission and of serving elders and people in need and serving seniors.
It's amazing when you take a look at the campus in Allentown today and you see how it started with that single beautiful masonry building.
Yes, we still are in that building today. If you're in Allentown, that is where our corporate offices are. So yes, we're still utilizing that building, a little bit bigger campus.
Fantastic. When you take a look back as far as the generations that are making their way into the golden years today, I guess you could almost have like a bit of a separation. There are some of those that came from the Depression era in a way. They were children during the Depression. We're going back as far as 1925 and then up to 1945. And I understand that they're sometimes referred to as the silent generation.
Yeah.
How so?
When we look at it at the industry, and when continuing care retirement communities started a little over 50 years ago, they were looking to take care of seniors in an active community. But the silent generation was just happy to have care. You know, they didn't have a lot of expectations. They were happy to have 3 meals a day if you had some minor activities. And so they were that's how senior care was. But
silent as in not too many complaints.
Not too many complaints,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Happy to have 3 squares and a rack.
A clean place to live. Yeah, we got a good meal. Somebody cooked it for us. You know, they were very happy with those accommodations and the amenities that were offered at that campus.
Fantastic. And then as far as the baby boomers, it's funny to me because it seems like that age group continues to expand, and now I see 1946 to 1964.
It's a large group.
Yeah, I would say,
Yes.
and probably a large enough group to be a major concern and an influence as well.
The baby boomers have lots of different expectations, and so they want a different experience in their retirement, and they require having different options. There's a lot more baby boomers. I think we have a slide that says 10,000 will become 65 every day, so this baby boomer population continues to grow. And what we knew at Phoebe, and as well as everywhere in the senior care, was that those numbers are really large. Mm-hmm. And so how do we bring services to them? How do we meet their needs, knowing that they have some different expectations? They want to have an active retirement. They don't want to live in a nursing home necessarily until they might need to. They want to continue always learning, always being active. And so the industry has to change to meet those needs.
I see. Phoebe seems to be a forerunner when it comes to continuing care at home. And I understand that there's a model as far as the approach to continuing care.
Our approach in continuing care at home is to basically meet people's wishes. They want to stay at home, and so we look at that as how do we make that happen? And we take the expertise that we have in taking care of seniors for as long as we have and apply that to the model to allow people to stay at home. So I believe one of the largest things that we do is really grant them their wishes. So let's go. You want to stay at home? Okay, well, let's make that happen. What do you need? Well, we're going to go out to your home and we're going to say, okay, well, you don't have first floor living, or you're going to need a lift, or you're going to need to move these mugs. Here's what you need to do. We had one of our members want to be at home. They put an elevator in their house. They were so determined that they wanted to stay at home. It was not a one-floor house, so they put an elevator in. So we look at that, and then we look at their health. We talk to them about issues. We manage those issues. Our wellness coordinator meets with them quarterly to really help them see what those conditions are, to say, okay, you're diabetic, let's manage that diabetes for you so that it doesn't progress. Socialization we know is key, so we socialize with them. We have different groups that our members to get together, and sometimes it's a matter of we go to the doctor with them, listen to those diagnoses. Sometimes when you go to the doctor and it's a serious diagnosis, you kind of miss it. You don't know what's happening, and it's a scary situation. So we go with them to talk to them and listen to find out what the next step is.
So all of that is provided by Phoebe as a part of Pathstones by Phoebe.
Absolutely.
A wonderful program and so many services provided within. Lisa, I want to thank you so much for spending part of your day with us here to talk about Pathstones by Phoebe. What a wonderful program.
Thank you.
Thank you. And when we come back, we'll meet a couple of members of Pathstones by Phoebe and learn more about this great program. It is basically a leader when it comes to making sure that folks have what they need to continue on at home. Stay with us here on Community Spotlight. Well, a vibrant, healthy lifestyle is a big part of Phoebe Ministries' Pathstones by Phoebe. And to follow along at home, it's easy. It's pathstonesbyphoebe.org. I want to thank Lisa Hoffman for coming on board, the CEO of Pathstones by Phoebe, who we met a little bit earlier, executive director, I should say. And now we have some of the members of Pathstones by Phoebe joining us. Allison Seibert, welcome on board.
Thank you.
Along with Donald Seibert, also a Pathstones member. Donald, welcome.
Thank you.
And along with them, Cindy Moser. She is a retirement living specialist for Pathstones by Phoebe. Cindy, welcome to Community Spotlight.
Thank you, Dan.
Cindy, maybe you can tell us a little bit about the relationship building that that goes on between the full-timers at Phoebe like yourself and the members of Pathstones.
I'm glad you said full-timers because we actually become full-time members with each other's lives. Our program is a membership-based program where from the day someone becomes a member, for the rest of their life, we're involved with them. And as their needs change, we will provide them the services they need so they can stay in their home. So our relationship is a lifelong membership and a relationship, actually. So it's really very important that we build it from the beginning. In fact, Allison and Donna are our very first members.
Oh, my goodness.
They've been with Pathstones over 4 years, and it's just been delightful because we all become like a big family.
Yes, yes.
We really do.
I'm glad you mentioned the 4 years because that's significant. This is not something that's like, hey, let's try this out and see if it works. Phoebe does its work ahead of time, it sounds like, with the research and making sure a program will fly before it launches.
Absolutely. In fact, I know there was a substantial focus group and quite a bit of research that went into the decision. And ironically, several people that were part of that focus groups have become members.
Ah, fantastic.
So, yeah, it's really great.
Well, Allison and Donald, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Very good to have you. Maybe if you could share your experiences with finding Phoebe and then also finding Pathstones by Phoebe, and what were some of the things that really appealed to you?
Well, we started to look at what our aging process was going to be when I retired. I was only 58 when I retired due to a company closing, and we looked at long-term care insurance, and that just didn't seem, we were hearing horror stories about long-term care insurance. And we started to hear about Pathstones, and the more we heard, the more we liked it, in addition to just medical type of care. We just liked all the aspects of it, the wellness coordination, the programs, activities that are offered. So it's not a fit for everyone, but for us it was the perfect fit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we were concerned too about our children, and as you get older, are they going to be able to take care of us? And we wanted to have that all set, and so they didn't have to worry about it when the time came for a help. Yeah.
Right, right. Now, I give you folks lots of credit because so many times it seems, Cindy, we have folks that are kind of pushing the reality of moving on as a baby boomer into the post-retirement years and kind of not maybe looking ahead down the road too far. Is that the case?
I hear that more often than not. In fact, we run seminars on a regular basis, and our overlying message is to be sure to make a plan, because that is when you run into major problems, is when there is no plan, and there's usually it's a crisis, and emotions and things happen, and decisions are made that sometimes are not the best decisions, and it's very difficult to back out of.
Right, right. We talked with Lisa a little bit about the generation that grew up with the Depression, the silent generation, but the boomer generation that you and I belong to, a different breed of cat, it sounds like. Not really willing to just accept the basics, but looking for more to life, it sounds like.
Exactly. Allison and I have been talking about what our parents went through as they aged, and there are just so many more opportunities today for senior living that weren't available back then. My dad was a caregiver for my mother for a while, along with my sister's help, and they both spent a short amount of time in nursing homes before they passed, but just so many more options today for senior living, in addition to the options for medical care that are just fabulous. We think the Lehigh Valley is just a great place for medical care as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And what are some of the activities and some of the liberties that you enjoy as being a part of Phoebe's Pathstones by Phoebe?
Well, they do have some outings and things that we've enjoyed doing, museums. I'm trying to think of other things. The walk we had the other day, different meals, going out. We're active anyway in our church, and so we have other things to do, but so we can pick and choose. You don't go to all of them, but there are a lot of activities to choose from.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And the wellness coordination is important. You know, we get, there's a requirement to meet some physical requirements before joining, but the follow-up for wellness care we think is important. It's tough to go through some of the tests that we do, but you know, we're tracked, and it's fun to see how we're aging, how well we're aging.
So you're doing the milestone physical tests that doctors recommend at certain ages, and that's a part of the program.
And
it sounds
mental,
like.
And
mental tests too.
Absolutely. And Cindy, as far as qualifying, how is that all taken care of as far as getting on board with this program?
So if someone would be considering Pathstones, they would need to qualify both medically and financially. If our program is based on activities of daily living and supporting that need. So if someone is already in need of someone for coming in to provide care services, they would not be eligible for the program. But if you're vibrant and healthy, there's no reason why we can't help support that and keep you independent. So that's what the whole idea is, that we partner with you in your wellness, and as your needs change, then even if it's a little help, maybe after a knee replacement, or after, even if you tread your ankle or something that you've had PT, the wellness coordinator is going to check in on you to see how you're doing. Is there something that we're missing? Because there's this big gap that people can start a really good downward spiral, and we try to really keep that from happening.
So by having the tests done on time, it sounds like a very proactive approach to making sure that everything is as good as possible at home, so that you're able to stay and enjoy your home that you've worked so hard to have. Excellent.
And we still haven't gotten rid of all the throw rugs, but we're working on it.
Well, Allison and Donald, thank you so much for being here and telling your story. And Cindy as well, thank you.
Thank you.
Much obliged for that. We're going to return and be back, meet another member of Pathstones by Phoebe, and learn a little more about this wonderful program. Stay with us here on Community Spotlight. And you're back with us here on Community Spotlight. We're taking a look in depth at a program that is really catching interest throughout the United States of America. It's at Phoebe Ministries, based in Allentown, Pennsylvania, but serving the whole region, and it's known as Pathstones by Phoebe. For our third segment, we welcome back Cindy Moser. She is the retirement living specialist for Pathstones by Phoebe. And we're also welcoming to our set Addie Turk. She is a member of Pathstones. Addie, welcome to Community Spotlight.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you here. And also aboard, the wellness coordinator for Pathstones by Phoebe, Gina Van Fossen. Gina, welcome to Community Spotlight.
Thank you very much.
Addie, let me start with you. If you don't mind telling us a little bit about yourself and how you came to find Pathstones by Phoebe.
Well, my name is Addie Turk, and I live in Emmaus, Pennsylvania. And I came to Pathstones basically through the mail. I received a flyer in the mail. I was recently widowed. My children live, one lives in New Tripoli, the other one lives in New Jersey. So when I saw what Pathstones had to offer, it you know how you have something in your mind says, this might be something I would be interested in? That's what happened. And I went to an information program one day. I think it was over at Muhlenberg, and liked what I heard.
Fantastic. We are
Yes.
so sorry for your loss, and
Thank you.
you tug at our heartstrings because we know from the sound of your voice that you're thinking about your children as well as your own well-being. So that's
Definitely.
very nice. Gina, you are the wellness coordinator,
Yes.
and that sounds like it encompasses a lot of things. And there's a list here I'm very impressed with: physical, social, emotional, environmental, and very impressed that the forethought that goes into making sure that the members are taken care of in all of these ways: environmental, intellectual, spiritual, and vocational. Maybe you can kind of bring that to full circle for us.
So I think of wellness as like an umbrella term, and the underneath the umbrella are the components that you've just described. So we all have different goals and interests and limitations and strengths. So my focus is to get to know each member and everything that goes into what makes them happy and feel well and help, you know, just healthy in their life, and just to remain at home, like Cindy mentioned. And it's just an exciting time, an exciting opportunity for me to be there for them as an advocate, really. A facilitator. Sometimes if somebody needs care, if and when the time comes that they need care, I can, you know, make contacts with people and I, you know, or can organize that for them. So it's a good place to be.
These are fun years, aren't they, Addie?
I'm sorry.
These are fun years.
Oh, definitely.
I tell people that I associate with, I say, you know, if you reach my age and something doesn't hurt on a regular basis, then you didn't play hard enough as a kid. So the health aspect has got to be number one. And the fact that people living at home sometimes can endure a health episode, but still return to their home, which I think is a wonderful.
That's the goal, and because people want to remain at home, that's what we focus on. When we want to get to know these members and we sit down and talk about these things, we develop together a wellness plan, and so that will run through, you know, each of the elements that you're describing. And you know, some people have greater needs than others, and in different areas. Some people have, you know, physical limitations and things like that, like I mentioned. And I'm just checking in with them to see how they're doing and to see if they've had those follow-ups with their doctors, and if they've had medication changes, or if there's been a fall, or did you know, how was Spain, or how was your visit with the kids in Arizona? You know, that kind of thing.
Keeping track.
So
That's excellent.
yes, from start to finish, really.
And Cindy, a quick question: the peace of mind for not just the residents of Pathstones by Phoebe, but I would imagine family members are pretty happy that mom or dad are involved with the program.
Absolutely. In fact, that's pretty much the reason Addie says that she's become a member of Pathstones, if I'm not mistaken. And I was a caregiver for my dad for many years, along with my brother and sisters, so I know full well those caregiver shoes. And so many people don't have children close by or no children at all.
Yes.
So our program really fulfills a great need of advocacy and support, and then also guidance for the children, because it's an area that you're not used to delving into.
Well said, and a great finishing remark, because we could fill an hour, but unfortunately we're out of time for this half hour. But thank you so much, Cindy, Addie, and Gina, for joining us here for our third segment on Phoebe Ministries, Pathstones by Phoebe, pathstonesbyphoebe.org. I'm Dan Mouty. Thanks for joining us on Community Spotlight. Good night.